So I guess we are live now. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me just check if the sound is all right or not. Yes, the sound is all good and we should start the session, but I am not able to see the live chat. Mm, Control setting. Okay, no problem. Let me just quickly open it in here. Okay, so we are audible. Let's just start the session and let me close the stream from here. I think the video is lagging. Let me just check the why video is lagging. Wait a second, let me just quickly set up my webcam again. I think the uh, camera was lagging. So I guess the video will not lag anymore. We are starting the session in next 2 to 3 minutes. So let's just start the session. I guess the template is visible. We just so okay. So today we will start a new session that is Introduction to Cybersecurity. My name is Aishu Upadhyay and today we will cover all the basic topics that is needed to go further in Linux fundamentals and bash scripting. So this session is not specifically targeting any audience. This can be attended by anyone as it starts from basic. So let's just see what is cybersecurity. But first, we need to know about what is information. So uh, any meaningful form of data. So what is the major difference between the information and data? Data can be anything. For example, let's take an example. Uh, if I am writing random strings, so it is a data. Okay, it has a particular size, it is a sky text. But if I am writing someone's name, for example, if I am taking a name of an fruit, apple, so it is also a data because there is no information attached to it because it is a standalone word, apple, simply apple. But if I will write this is my apple, so I am specifying and objectifying this fruit that this apple belongs to me. So that is information. So any meaningful form of data is known as information or kind of processed data. If let me just take another example. If I write PPLA, so it has all the alphabet uh, that is present in the spelling of apple, but it is not processed correctly. If I will jumble them again and write it correctly, it forms apple. So this is information. So yes, I have given the example here. Apple is a data, and this is my apple is information. So data is not important to us. The important thing for us is information. So let's just take another example, information versus data. So this is information, this is a random number, but we don't know anything about this random 10 digit number. But if you see here, this is information, as this number belongs to Mr. John Doe, and this number is starting for plus 91, so it means it is an Indian number, and we can see that Mr. John Doe is business consultant. So let me just see the charts if there is any confusion between information and data. There are three peoples. You can ask the question if you want, if you are confused in any of the thing I have explained till now. So basically this is a very basic information. Everyone should know what is the major difference between information and data and how is it important to us. So let's just move to another topic. Next topic is information security. So we know we have information, but how we can the basic role of ethical hacker is how we can secure the information. So that is information security, or information security is also known as infosec. It is the practice of protecting information from by mitigating information risks. So information can be anything. It can be a text paper, it can be our Aadhaar card, our PAN card, or our digital information. It can be both physically available information and both and can be online information. So we should aim to protect this information at any cost by mitigating its risk. For example, if our Aadhaar card got lost, or if we have deleted any important document that is present in our operating system or our PC. So if I get to know about a random person's birth date, for example, I am giving you a birth date, uh, 26 July. So it does not make any sense because 26th July is a very common date. But if I get to know about your phone number, or I get to know about the name of the person whose birth date is 26th of July, I can definitely extract more information from this. For example, we can track its physical address, its home address, name of its family, basic information about its family, its phone number. So information security is basic need of everyone, and everyone should know how to secure their information both online and both physically. So let's just move to information security, and we will take a classic example of Enigma machine. Let's just go to Firefox once and we'll Google Enigma machines. So there's the Wikipedia. So Enigma machine is a cipher device. What is a cipher? In cryptography, a cipher is an algorithm for performing encryption or decryption. So let me explain you first what is encryption and decryption. So encryption is the process of protecting a data with a password or a key, and decryption is receiving the data or decrypting it by using the same password or key. So cipher is a algorithm for performing encryption and decryption, a series of well defined steps. So when we do encryption and decryption, there are several steps for doing that can be followed by a procedure. An alternative less common terms is encipherment. To encipher or encode is to convert. Okay, so let's take a basic example. Rot 13, uh, Rot 13 encode. So this is Rot 13. If I want to write a random message, the that this apple is mine. So you have seen that this string is converted into another thing. So if I want to explain you what is rot 13, we have, as we have discussed in earlier classes, this will convert this t to its next 13th alphabet. So basically it does step by step process. But firstly it will convert this t, then h, then I, then s. Space will remain the same, it will only act on the alphabet. So this is encryption and decryption. So Enigma machine is a cipher device developed and used in early mid 20th century to protect commercial, diplomatic, and military communication. So it is used for communication purpose. So if I am giving or providing a piece of information to another person, so it should be protected or encrypted so that it cannot be accessed by any other person. So it was employed extensively by Nazi Germany during World War II in all branches of German military. So this device is used by German military in order to do their military communication. The Enigma machine was considered so secure that it was used to encipher the most top secret messages. So what can be the top secret messages? For example, it can be the coordinates of the troops, or where they will be targeting a particular country, and other major things. For example, the information of guns, information of troops, the person present in the troop, what weapon they are using, what uh, any other war equipment they are using. That is the top secret messages. The Enigma has an electromechanical rotor machine. Let's just not go here how it is made, but this was the first machine that was made in order to protect the information. So security, as I have already discussed, it's everyone's freedom and it is an asset. So security should be accessed by anyone. For example, if you have any piece of information such as Aadhaar card, so it is your freedom that you can use it anywhere, but it should be only used by you, not by the other person. Security, okay, security is the quality of information. Okay, so when we move to cybersecurity, it is a part of information security. So digital form of information security is known as cybersecurity. That is why we have differentiated information security and cybersecurity. Let's see this basic diagram and we will get to know about information security and cybersecurity. This is information security, this is cybersecurity, and this part covers the information involving in cyberspace. So what is a cyberspace? Cyberspace is the space in the internet where all the information is stored. Okay, so let me just quickly see the chats if there are any. Okay, the video is lagging, I guess. Video is a bit lagging, but the internet is good, I guess. So let's just move to another session. What are the threats to information security? So there are four major threats to information security. First threat is inadvertent threats, that is human failure. So let's take an example. If you have deleted the information stored on your PC or mobile phone by yourself, by mistake, so this is known as inadvertent threat to your information. Next is physical disaster. Physical disaster can be caused, for example, if you have destroyed your mobile phone by some cause, it got broke or the memory got corrupted, it can be said as natural disaster. So next is technical failure. If there is a failure in the software or hardware, for example, your screen got broken, and when you try to repair it, you accidentally erase the data of that particular system or mobile phone, so it is known as technical failure. Deliberate acts, that is the most interesting part of this information security, that is hacking. That someone is using your information without your no without your knowledge. For example, if you have clicked on some kind of malicious link and entered your credentials, so it got steal by the bad hackers. Espionage is also the same term in that is used instead of hacking. So the both the terms are interrelated. Let's just move to another topic information security does not deals with. Okay, so what does information security that does not deals with? That is cyber warfare. That the information that is present online in the online world, information security does not have the right to protect it. We have separate branch for it, that is cyber security. Information warfare, for example, if there is a war between two countries and use the information they have used the information against each other in some way. For example, if they have some kind of military information, so they can be, this information can be used in some way, so that they can got the information of their military troops, their movement in advance. So negative impacts on the people on internet, for example, such as negative impacts, for example, hacking or blackmailing or sexual abuse. Okay, so the fourth point is IoT security. IoT, those who don't know, IoT devices are such as CCTV cameras, or you can say CCTV cameras is the, I think, is the best example of IoT security. So information security does not deal with that. Securing the CCTV cameras, we have separate branch for that, that is cybersecurity. And in cybersecurity, there is a branch called IoT security that look after that protection of CCTV and their defense framework. So let's just move to cybersecurity. Before that, let me just quickly see the chats. So there are 3 viewers, and let's see if there are any questions or not. Okay, I think it is going quite well. Let's just move to another topic, that is cybersecurity, and that is the most important topic for today's session. So cybersecurity is the protection of cyberspace. I have told you earlier what is cyberspace against cyber threats. So cyber threats can be, you can say it is a bad hackers that is perform. The cyber threats can be performed by bad hackers, and cyberspace vulnerability. So what is vulnerability? Vulnerability is a specific weakness in the system that can be exploited by bad hackers. So for example, if you accidentally switch on the permission of your camera without any password or something, so it can be exploited by bad hackers. So when you are not using your camera, but they can use your camera to see what you are doing behind the system. So this is the vulnerability that can be said that. And the second point is threats to information by the cyberspace, that is already discussed. For example, if you have saved your Aadhaar card or PAN card in internet, so this information is useful for bad hackers. They can threat this. So it deals with the deliberate acts of the bad hackers. So what does cybersecurity doesn't deal with? It doesn't deal with physical and personal security. Personal security can be taken as if someone is threatening you physically. So it is the best example of personal security. That does not deal with cybersecurity. For that, we have information security, and we have other option, that is police, and government can look into this matter for personal security and physical security. So what are the threats via cyberspace? Okay, so it deals with the threats via cyberspace, not threats for cyberspace. Okay, so the threats that is performed on cyberspace, it is not deal with cybersecurity, but threats that are performed from cyberspace, that are performed from internet, it is dealt by cybersecurity. So let's just move to another point. Let's just move to another topic. What are the objective of cybersecurity? So basically, there are only three, but we have taken the five most common objectives of cybersecurity, that is confidentiality, no telling to unauthorized parties. For example, if you have any piece of information, so you should not important information, for example your phone number, so you should not tell it to unauthorized parties. For example, you should not tell it to someone random person. It can be, though your phone number can be useful in many ways. We will see this in detail in future sessions of OSINT, that is open source intelligence, how your phone number can be useful. It can be useful in extracting your physical address where you are living, your past address, even your bank account can be fetched with your mobile number. So what is integrity? That is completeness and accuracy of data. So this is like when you are sending a piece of information to someone, so it should be complete. For example, let's take my address is 78/9. So this is the information. Okay, so let me just complete it. Okay, so we will take California, and yes, we just take this example, a small example. My address is 78 oblique 9, 78 oblique 9, California. But if my piece of information is altered and it reaches to the other person like this, my address is 78 oblique 9, but 78 oblique 9 is a very common house number. It can be present in California, it can be present in any other country all over the world. It can be present in India, it can be present in Nepal or any other country that you want to take as example. So this is called integrity, that the data should be complete and accurate to the person we are sending to it. And availability is when the data is when needed, data is available. So if we want to if we want to send someone a data, it should be first available to us, then only we can send it to someone. So let's just see the other 2 points, that is non-repudiation. I should accept I sent you the message, and you should accept you received it. For let's take a classic example of this. When we do UPI payments, we ought to send a screenshot to other person, so it is a proof that I have sent you a message that I have completed the payment, and in return we get a message of thumbs up or okay that he has received the payment. So this is the classic example of non-repudiation. Fifth is authenticity. You should actually be who you tell you are. Okay, so if I am sending a piece of information, so I should tag my name along, that this is sent by Ayush Upadhyay and this is sent by Ayush Upadhyay to John Doe. I should not fake my name in order to send any piece of information. So let's just quickly read about these 3 points: confidentiality, integrity, availability, and this is known as CIA triad. So let's just move to this article of Fortinet in order to see what is CIA triad. So you can bookmark this website. This is a very good website in order to read articles related to cybersecurity and also artificial intelligence. So let's just move to these are the three what are the three core components of CIA triad and their examples. So let me just quickly see the charts if there are any. Hmm. Let me just quickly check if there is any problem with the stream. Okay, let's just move to CIA triad. So first is confidentiality. Confidentiality involves the efforts of an organization to make sure that data is kept. Okay, so the data should be secret and private. To accomplish this, access to information must be controlled to prevent the unauthorized sharing of data. So firstly, we should have access to our information that we are sharing, so that it cannot be controlled. It cannot be controlled by any unauthorized parties, whether intentionally or accidentally. So sometimes this happen that if you have read the latest news of Microsoft S3 bucket configuration, so around 1.4 billion users data has been accidentally leaked. So uh, this data can be used in many ways. For example, many passwords got leaked, so we can somehow access that file and we can perform brute force attack in order to gain unauthorized access to someone's Microsoft account. So this is what accidental data share happens. A key component of maintaining confidentiality is making sure that people with proper authorization are prevented from accessing access assets important to your business. Okay, so the major role of confidentiality is this: the important information either related to your business or your personal life, so it should be accessed only by the authorized party. Okay, the conversely, an effective system also ensures that those who need to have access have necessary privileges. Okay, if you own the data but you do not have the proof, you still cannot access your information. For accessing any particular information, for example, if you want to access your bank account, so you should first know what is your mpin, what is your username, and what is your password. So in order to maintain the integrity of confidentiality, you should have a necessary privileges. So privileges, for example, you should know your password, you should know your username, you should know your mpin in order to access the data. So let's just move to okay, to fight against confidentiality breaches. Okay, you can classify and label restricted data. Okay, so we can in advance we can restrict the data that this data should not be shared. For example, we should not share our credentials of our Google account or Microsoft account even to our closed ones. Okay, so there should be limitation of sharing of our data. Okay, so enable access to control policies, encrypt data using multi-factor authentication. So what is multi-factor authentication? When you try to log in, if you have seen the classic example of when you are logging into your Google account, when you try to enter password and hit enter, it's the second step, it asks for an OTP generation on your mobile phone. So this is known as multi-factor authentication. First layer of authentication is your username, second authentication is the password, and third authentication is your OTP. So let's just move to integrity. So integrity involves making sure your data is trustworthy and free from tampering. So tampering is basically the altering of data, changing of data, or for example, if I have said send a mobile number in which you have to make a payment, but somehow by in future we will read about man in the middle attack. The man in the middle of the conversation can alter that mobile number, and it will not be directly shared to the person, but instead it will another mobile number will be shared. So payment will not be received on the mobile number you have shared, but it will be the payment will be done on the mobile number that is provided by the man in the middle. So this is what integrity of data means. So compromising integrity is often done intentionally, and the attacker may bypass an intrusion detection system. So IDS systems are made to avoid man in the middle attack. So an attacker, okay, they have seen many examples in which attacker have bypassed this intrusion detection system and can somehow can access to the private keys and public keys that are used when for example, if we take uh, the classic example of WhatsApp conversation. So you have seen that end-to-end encryption. So for doing that encryption, there is generated a special public and private key that is shared between the person. That is, if we take example, I am communicating with my friend. So that key is present with me and my friend. If it is somehow accessed by the another person, he can directly jump into our conversation and we don't know if he is there or not, but he can access to our information, he can tamper the information and can mislead us. So let's just move to availability. Even if data is kept confidential and its integrity maintained, it is often useless unless it is available to those in the organization and the customers they serve. For example, if hacker has compromised a system and he has deleted all the data, so even if you have the credentials, you access the account, but the data is not present at the time when you need to share to other party. So this is known as the availability of data. That is, when you need to share the data should be available with you. So this is exploited. This availability is exploited. I think the attack is mentioned. Yes, DOS attack or ransomware attack. So we will discuss in detail what is ransomware attack in later session. So this is what CIA tried, and it is the most important topic of cybersecurity. So let's just move to the most interesting topic. What is hacking? So let me just quickly see the chat first. If the sound is proper. So four people are watching. Hello, brother. Okay, I will paste the link of this website, Fortinet. Okay, instead what I can do, I can attach this PDF in the community post which I will be making after the stream. So you can have access to this PDF and all the links and all the resources that is needed. So moving on to the next topic, what is hacking? So this is the most important topic of this session. What is hacking? So hacking refers to the act. Okay, so hacking can be good and bad. So hacking refers to the act of compromising devices, networks, or system by gaining unauthorized access to accounts or computer systems. So let me just explain it in a bit easy way. So let's take an example of a system that there is a vulnerability of that uh, the system is connected to a unsafe Wi-Fi. So first what hacker can do? Hacker can first exploit the Wi-Fi, then he can run a scan on the Wi-Fi. He can exploit the devices which are connected to it. Then he can directly jump to the device which is the most vulnerable device. So how devices are vulnerable? So there are few steps that you people do in order to make your website vulnerable. So the steps that you made, or the I can say the error what you do while using your device, that is, you people most of the people browse when browsing anything, they directly open a new tab and just search. So instead what you can do, you can go incognito mode so that your browsing history should be with you and your internet provider and the government, and it should not be accessed by anyone. And another thing which is practice these days is uh, downloading pirated games, pirated movies, and some bloatware apps that are used to download those movies. So these apps come with inbuilt backdoors. So let's just move to backdoors. What are backdoors? So backdoors are specific way. For example, let's take an example of a house. So you know that this door is broken and only you know. But if one day a thief came into your house and uh, came to know that he can enter the house from this window or gate, so uh, this piece of information is exploited. Okay, so in future he can plan and execute it, and he already know that this gate is broken and he can enter the house from this gate, and he can steal your money or anything from the house. So this is what how can you this information how this is you can relate to the system, that there are some sort of backdoors. For example, when you connect to unsafe Wi-Fi, so it create a space in your device from where hackers can enter. Or if you download a pirated movie, so if you down when you download a pirated movie, it came with virus. So virus also create a space in your device from which hackers can exploit. So basically, hacking refers to an act of compromising digital devices. So digital devices can be computer systems, mobile phones, Wi-Fi, and any other IoT devices near you, or networks such as Wi-Fi and LAN. Or in fact, today we have seen that phonic conversations have also leaked. They can also be hacked and altered in the era of digitalization and artificial intelligence. Or so hacking, when we move let's move to hacking. What is hacking? So hacking refers to the act of compromising. We have discussed what is compromise, how you can compromise digital devices. Or okay, so when they compromise digital devices, so what hackers do, they log you out of the system and they completely have access to your system, so they can do anything in your system. Okay, so hacking is a very broad term and we will discuss it later on this stream. So let's just move to history of hacking. What is how the hacking is discovered, how this term is made. So the history of hacking offers a colorful background dating back to late 1800s. Of course, hacking in the 1800s didn't look like the modern version. So let's just move to modern version. modern hacking involves. Okay, so in 1960s, one of the first popularized hacks again associated with telephones. Okay, so telephones was exploited way much before time, was known as phreaking. Phreaking is where an individual uses a whistle or other high pitched noise to trick a phone into receiving operational commands and thus changing the behavior of telephone system. Okay, so the example which we can take is the if a telephone is operating on a specific kind of frequency, and someone, let's just change the frequency. If you are calling your friend, it can be possible that the call is made to another person. So this is what phreaking means. So around 1965, John Draper, who famously became known to Cap and Crunch for his phreaking techniques, realized that he could use a toy whistle to, okay, so he can use a toy whistle to exploit the telephone calls. Nice. He found the whistle in a cell box, hence this nickname. Through the help of this whistle and the right frequency of noise, he was able to complete free long distance phone calls. Okay. So between the dominance and AT&T among the telephone system, Unix is the parent operating system of all the operating system that is used currently, involving Mac, Windows, and Kali Linux itself. We will look into the history of Unix also and the invention of ARPANET. ARPANET we will. Okay, ARPANET. I think I have covered it in the presentation. Yes, I have. Okay, we will discuss this also. We have where the it is the history of hacking. So after the rise of Tiger teams in 90, okay, Tiger teams. Okay, the world of hacking as we know it today begins in the early 1970s after the popularization of early computers, okay, with government agency utilizing. So back in the time, the computer is only organized by government agencies and military agencies also. It is not accessible by it is not accessed by everyone. So a set of computers are provided to institutions for study purpose and research purpose. So these terms of highly technical specialists become known as tiger teams and were one of the earliest type of hackers. Okay, so after the rise of tiger teams in 1970s, other example of hacking in a more traditional sense can be seen, such as with the invention of the first computer bomb and subsequent antivirus. So we will have a dedicated session on this special type of antivirus. We will see a practical of this antivirus, how it works. So let's just move to another topic, that is ARPANET. ARPANET. Let's just see what is Wikipedia. So ARPANET was the Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, ARPANET, and was the first wide area packet switch network. With what is a packet switch network? In telecommunication, packet switching is a method of grouping data into short message in fixed format, that is packets that are transmitted over a telecommunication. So okay, so they have built a way of communicating in short form. Okay, so with distributed controls and one of the first computer network to implement the TCP/IP protocol suite. Both technologies became the, okay, so we will be studying the TCP/IP model also in the networking session. So both technologies became the technical foundation of the internet. Okay, so internet was first, before internet, ARPANET was present. So the ARPANET was established by Advanced Research Policy Agency, now DARPA, of the United States Department of Defense. Okay, so before internet, ARPANET was existing and was in use, and the protocol that it uses is TCP IP protocol, and in today in internet we use HTTP. You all already know what it is: HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, and HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secured version. So these are both the protocols that are used in today's internet generation, and TCP IP protocol was used in the generation of ARPANET. So let's just take a quick break and see the charts. Okay, so let's just move to another topic. What is hacking? So there are more terms to it. So okay, we have earlier discussed that hacking, there's no standard definition of hacking. So if you have heard mind hacking, so it is also a kind of hacking. So media continues to add false information about hacking. So yes, in today's world there's a false narrative about hacking, that hacking is bad, but it can be good in some ways. There are good hackers and there are bad too. Bad one need to be discussed but not learned. So we should discuss about what are bad hackers, but we should not practice what they are doing. Good ones are to be focused, the ethical hackers. Okay, so good one need to be focused. We should be focusing on being a good hacker, that is an ethical hacker. So what according to you, who is a hacker that can steal your social media password, that it can hack a Wi-Fi, hack NASA with HTML file, a computer science student, a terrorist? So hacking has evolved from teenage mischief into a billion-dollar business. So in early times, hacking was practiced by small kids. So when the time when the there was when there was a time when internet was not evolved, so anyone can perform small kind of attacks. They can run scripts in order to do something notorious, and Wi-Fi hacking was a bit easy. Although it is still easy to hack Wi-Fi now, but firstly it was considered as a teenage mischief, but it is now a billion-dollar business. Uh, there exist more ransomware groups which are famous for earning a lot money, more than I think Elon Musk, but they are not authorized or they are not on the record, so we don't know how much they have earned. So let's just, before jumping to other topic, we need to discuss what are the types of hackers. I know this session will be a bit boring because there are no practical demonstration to it, but I will be I will try to make it a bit interesting. So let's just discuss what are the different type of hackers. So first one is on which we are targeting white hat hackers. They are good hackers. They are considered good hackers. So white hat hackers, also known as ethical hacker. So the terms are both same. Or good hacker is a cyber security. So they are professional hackers. They are cyber security professional who use their hacking skill to identify and report security vulnerabilities. Okay, so let's take an example. If a company has made a website, let's assume a payment website, a payment gateway. So what they do before deploying or before making it in use, before using the website and before providing them to normal people, firstly they will hire a cybersecurity professional who can test their Wi-Fi. So test their website. So what does this good hacker do? Uh, they will firstly hack the website and tell the company how he has done that, so that the development team can fix the vulnerabilities present in the system, as it is written that who uses their hacking skills. So we as good hackers use our hacking skills. Okay, so what is common in white hat hacker and black hat hacker, we will discuss it later. They both do the same thing, but the outcome is different. So, White Hat hacker uses their hacking skill to identify and report security vulnerabilities in computer system. So, we have taken example of UPI payment. So, they test if the payment is authorized and if it is made by someone, so it should reach to the exact person that we are sending the payment. There should not be a man in the middle that can alter the payment or alter the amount or change the person to which we are sending the payment. So they will report the security vulnerabilities in the computer system, networks. Okay, so we have taken an example of website, but it can be anything. It can be a computer system, it can be network, application, mobile application, Windows application, application, anything, and with the explicit permission of the system owner. So This is the important thing. So we should firstly seek the permission of the system owner. So if an organization has made a website, we should sign the agreement that we have the permission to hack their system. Okay, so if we do without permission, you can be in jail. So white hat hackers, they even work with government, cyber cells, and police. So let's just move to other type of hackers, black hat hackers, the bad ones. Black hat hackers are individual who engaged in unauthorized access to computer systems. So the basic difference between white hat and black hat hackers, black hat hackers do not have permission to do anything with the system. They perform hacking events on the system, they exploit the data, they sell the data, or they just notoriously delete the data and corrupt the system. So they exploit security vulnerabilities, often using techniques such as, okay, so they use malware, ransomware, phishing, social engineering to steal sensitive information like so we will individually discuss this: malware, ransomware, phishing, social engineering. So they do these kind of let's assume these are kind of cyber attacks. You have already kind of heard about them. So they use these cyber attacks to steal sensitive information like passwords. They can steal the password of the employee working in the organization, their credit card numbers. If for example, if a black hat hacker exploited a payment application, so in recent for example, if we take an example of Paytm. So what you do when you log in the Paytm, you store the credential of your credit card, your debit card, and any other kind of payment you do. You store the CVV, you store your card number and account number, you store everything in the Paytm app. So if somehow your Paytm is exploited, so these all data can be publicly accessed. They can be exploited, they can be destroyed, but mostly they are used. So if someone has your account number, your card number, your CVV, they can use simply use your card for payments. So their action can lead to significant financial loss. Yes, financial loss, reputational damage if company is exploited. For example, if a company is hacked, so people will the company will not be trustable in future. For example, let's take Paytm. I guess there was a news when Paytm was also hacked. Okay, so there was a latest news of WazirX, the cryptocurrency platform. It was also hacked. So we have significantly see that the stocks of the WazirX company gets down, and the reputation is completely damaged now. Although they have compensated and they are back with their application and everything, but still their reputation got lost. So some end up, so we are talking about black hat hackers, some end up in jail and some are still making money. Yes, there exist some people who have no track records and who are not caught still, and they are making money, they are making lot money. So we have third kind of hacker, we have gray hat hacker. So the basic difference between a gray hat hacker and a black hat hacker, the common thing between them is they don't have permission. But the good thing in gray hat hacker is they do not exploit the system. They just hack and leave the system as it is. They do not use the information, they do not leak out the information, although they are unethical. They So let's just read what is gray hat hacker. A gray hat hacker is an individual who operates in morally ambiguous area between ethical white hat and unethical black hat. So they are in between hacking practices. So they typically engage in hacking activities without explicit permission. So they also do not have permission, but they do not have any malicious intent to cause harm or gain personal benefit. They just do to test their skills. So they don't have permission, but they also do not have any harm. Also do not make any harm. So the common thing in both these three hackers, the technique is same in order to exploit a system. White hat hacker have permission, their intent is good. Black hat hackers have no permission, their intent is bad. The intent of gray hat hackers, we don't know what their intent is, but they just test their skills in hacking the system. So these are different types of hacker. So just quickly see the chat if there is anything Three people are still watching. I guess one is me and one is the. Okay, no problem. Let's just see the duration of the stream, how it is going. So we are 1 hour in the session. So let's just discuss the important, very important topic, ethical hacking, and that is what I am. I am an ethical hacker. I'm a good hacker. So, firstly, we should discuss what is ethical hacking or what is white hat hacking. So, it is a performed by a company or individual to help identify potential threats on a computer or network. So, there can exist a company, a bunch of people who are professionally trained in order to hack system and make report of the security vulnerability, or there exist like me an individual who do these things. So they, what they do, they help identify potential threats on a computer or network. They search if there exist any weak points that could be exploited by malicious hackers. So this information is then used by organization to improve the system security. We as good hackers, what we do, we hack into the system. We see what are the potential threats that can be exploited by bad hackers. So we do not exploit. We make a report and we submit it to the company or the organization. Then what the organization does, they give it to the development team in order to uh, repair it or patch the updates for this vulnerability. So ethical hacking is very underrated still, and criticized, especially in India. If you go outside India, ethical hacking is very famous, but in India, if we talk about it, it is still criticized and seen in a bad intent, that hackers are still, hackers are considered bad. They do not know the difference between good hackers and bad hackers. So it is still underrated, and this profession is not known to many people. Still, people are running behind development, website development, and things. But you should know that there exists a career in which you can gain more money than usual professions, even in crores. And outside, if you go outside India, there is much money in ethical hacking, and you get a lot of respect and reputation. If, like, if you are protecting someone, if you are protecting a company, so you will directly get a reputation from them. So but actually the space is more safer as we see it, because okay, in today's era of UPI payment, you know UPI payment is much safe, although there can exist security vulnerabilities that can be exploited. So how this UPI payment is still safe? This is because there exist ethical hackers in India who secure this UPI payment thing. So, who is an ethical hacker? We should know who is an ethical hacker. So, they are security professional. They are trained in their field of hacking. They test the security of a system. They are authorized because they have the permission of company. They earn lot money and they earn respect. So, why we need ethical hackers? A need for ethical hackers. Let's study about the job market of ethical hacking. So cyber, we there is a fact that cyber attack occurring approximately every 39 seconds. 40 seconds. Okay, so which equates to over 2000 attacks per day. So there are, okay, so every 40 seconds we have a cyber attack. Okay, for classic example of this is, we can see there is a website in which you can know Casper Sky uh, hacking map. I think it is like that. Map threat. Okay, cyber threat live map. So this map, although it is not exact, it is a approx figure, and we will came to know what which is the most attacked country till now. So internet is a bit low. Let's just Wait. Okay, it's now live. So, okay, so this data is detection per second. It is detecting the cyber threat per second. Let's just wait for this website to the load the content. I think the website is not responding. I will also pin the okay. So we have it. We have this. So you can see all the branches. If we talk about India, India is currently fifth most attacked country. I have told you already this that cybersecurity is still underrated and ethical hackers are still underrated in India. That is why it is the fifth most attacked country. You can see, oh, there is a lot of something going in this region. Let's see what is. I think this is Germany or something. Yes, it's Germany, France, Switzerland. Lot of something is going in Europe region. So you can see how much underrated is ethical hacking and cybersecurity. In fact, whole hacking field. So you can use this website in order to see the data. So let's just talk about the uh, job market of ethical hackers. So US dollar 6.8 billion by 2030 with a CAGR. This is a rapid growth annual. It's a compound annual growth rate of 15.8%, and the broader for penetration testing. This is my field in which I am working, penetration testing market to reach you. Okay, so in the complete market of cybersecurity, 6.8 billion, penetration market is itself 5 billion. It's approx 80% or 90%, I guess. So India entities are projected to incur. Okay, so this is the news about, I think, cyber security. Okay, cyber attack. So India entities are projected to incur losses of rupees 20,000 crore due to cyber crime in 2025. So this is the data for the financial year till April 2025, according to a report by cybersecurity intelligence from CloudSec, with rupees 9,000 CR attributed to brand name abuse only. So there are attacks in which they uh, act as a deliberate company. For example, we are, let's take an example of a phone call. We are from Amazon and there is a uh, system error. There is a file error or some kind of a digital error in your system, so please provide access to your anydex so that we can fix. So when a person hears the name of Amazon, Google, Microsoft, so they become attentive, so they treat him as a authoritative person, so they give access to the system. So the people have lost around rupees 9,000 crore attributed to brand name abuse. Means someone is using brand name. For example, they are using the name of Microsoft, Google, Amazon, that they are authorized person, and they can they ask for the permission to access your system, and they do misconfiguration in your system. They can steal your credit card information and personal information that is stored in the system. So let's just move to our next topic, carriers in ethical hacking. The global security job vacancy gap. Okay, so the global cybersecurity job vacancy gap is estimated to be around 3.5 million positions. So 3.5 million, I think it is data of world global, yes, global data. So 3.5 million positions are still empty. That is expected to persist through 2025 and likely to continue in the future. So 3.5 million positions are still open for cybersecurity individual, but the persons are the people are still not, skilled enough. I think there is a glitch. The same pages are repeated again and again. Okay, so how to next question we have is how to become an ethical hacker. So what practices should you do? Firstly, what uh, primary knowledge you should have, that is computer basics, hardware, what is a RAM, what is a display, what are input output devices, how a motherboard works, how a processor works. This is small information you should about hardware. You should know about what is software, what is a software, what is the software information, how it is, how software is linked to our hardware, what are the components of software, for example, what current version we are using, what operating system we are using, what are the technologies that we are using in our system, for example, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and much more. So processing methodologies, for example, how a computer work on instructions. So when we press this icon and Microsoft Fox open, so sorry, Microsoft Fox, this is Firefox, my mistake. Firefox open, why it is opening? So there exists a script in the backend that is making it to do. So let's just move to another. Web and internet, you should have knowledge of HTTP, DNS, web servers, how web servers work, FTTP. So they are HTTP, FTP, SMTP are internet protocols. So in networking, that we will be also covering, and operating system we will be also covering in the future sessions. You should know about TCP/IP model, ARP, devices, types, routing and switching. What are routers? How a Wi-Fi works? What are Ethernet cables? What are different type of, you know uh, devices that can be used to share information? Operating systems such as Linux, we are using Kali Linux. There exists a Parrot Linux also, Red Hat Linux also. There exists Windows, which I do not use personally. Android, that is in your hand. iOS, that is also come in Apple phones. Mac, I have one MacBook Pro that is operated on this Mac OS. So what programming languages you should have knowledge of? So for reverse engineering, you should know about assembly, C, C++. For script writing, you should have a knowledge of Python, Ruby, Perl. So don't get tensed about this. We will discuss all the things. We will be continuing our series on a dedicated roadmap, in which we will cover the networking part, then we will cover operating system. I think we have operating system here also. I have some pages regarding, yes, we have Linux. So we will discuss this also. So you should not be tensed how you will cover. I will be there in each and every session. Will be our future session will be focused on networking and operating system. Thereafter, we will be going for Linux fundamental and bash scripting. After that, we will be jumping into the penetration testing thing, and we will stepwise do how to do hacking, good hacking. So for web app testing, you will be using JavaScript, PHP, SQL, JSP, Python. For shell scripting, I have already discussed. We have a dedicated series for bash scripting. So what are the general terminologies which will be used throughout this streams that you should know? So what is a vulnerability? A vulnerability is a kind of weakness that can be exploited. A weakness that is present in your mobile phone or any kind of system, IoT devices, your uh, laptop, your PC, or any other mobile device. So what is a threat? One who exploits a threat is can be a person, can be a malware who exploits a vulnerability. So if the vulnerability is known, the it can be exploited very easily by someone. So what is a risk? What is risk? So damage caused by exploiting the vulnerability. If we know if someone know, if a bad hacker know what is vulnerability, he will be knowing that how to exploit it, and the damage caused by him, either stealing the credentials or just corrupting the system, this is known as risk. Next is asset, which need to be accessed after exploitation. So the asset is for asset. You can say that your credentials for login into a specific account is considered an asset for an ethical hacker, because he can exploit and access your account. So, for example, if your bank account password is somehow compromised, so all your money can be transferred here there and your bank account will be zero. So it is asset for a black hat hacker. Okay, you have heard this word before, I think. Bug, error, fault, or flow in a computer program that may cause unexpected behavior. So bug is that is when we code, we ought to do some kind of mistakes that make the computer program doing unexpected behavior, or a bug can be also exploited by bad hackers in order to access your system or corrupt your system completely. So hacker we have discussed, cracker we have already discussed, that can gain access to damaged assets and cause harm, always malicious. Okay, so next we have already discussed infosec. We will be discussing penetration testing. So penetration testing is the part of ethical hacking, that is testing and reporting the security loopholes in a system. So ethical hackers are hired by some kind of organization or company. So what they do, they test the system and report the company about the loopholes in the system. So this technique is known as penetration testing. So let me just quickly see the charts. Hmm, okay, so let's just move to vulnerability assessment. So testing and reporting the security loopholes and tell them how to fix them. So well, when a vulnerability is exploited by a hacker or is exploited by a good hacker in order to fix that, so this is known as vulnerability assessment. So what is cyber espionage? Spying on someone to gain illicit access to confidential information. Large institutions, for example, if a bad hacker got somehow got the access to your webcam, so he can see what you are doing, what activities you are performing in a day. So what is the exploit? It is designed to cause unexpected behavior that an attacker can take advantage of to perform harmful actions. So exploit can be referred to as some kind of programming scripts that are run in the system in order to cause something harmful to your system. So there exist two kinds of script. One script that can be that can be used in order to perform a particular task, and one script can be existing that in that is used in order to exploit that task. So these are known as exploits, and we have then script kiddies. Script kiddies is something that newbies and new hackers, they just see the video of how to hack a wi-fi, how to hack someone instagram id, and they just perform some kind of command, although they don't know what they are exactly doing. So this is a script kiddie. So zero day, it is a very interesting term. So zero day is known as the vulnerability not known to professionals, only to be exploited by hackers. So this vulnerability is uh, there can exist a vulnerability that is not patched still, but hackers can still exploit this vulnerability. This weakness is not known either to the professional who is testing the system, either to the organization that has made that service, and not even to hackers. But someday it will be compromised. So this is known as zero day. So there are zero day bug bounties you can do if you have a good knowledge of hacking and uh, stuff and penetration testing skills. You can do zero day bug bounty. So let's just move to limitations of cybersecurity. So if there are so much advantages of cybersecurity, there exist some kind of limitations. First limitation we have is costly. It is very costly. For example, if I talk about uh, certification, so certifications are itself very much expensive, and if you want to practice cybersecurity, the subscriptions of hack the box and try hack me are too much expensive. The device that you need, for example, you should have a device that have a good processor around i7 and have a lot of ram around 32 GB in order to partition it. So you should be having a lot of money in order to, although you can still arrange thing. For example, I am providing you free knowledge of cybersecurity. So let's just move another limitation. So bad configuration may be disastrous. So if a organization has hired an ethical hacker, so they are also human, they can make mistakes. So they or they don't do it intentionally, but they do by mistake. They do some kind of bad configuration that may be disastrous and that can be exploited by bad hackers. So it is difficult to choose right solution. There exist many solutions, so you have to test and trial and test method. So you have to test and test again, you will fail again, you will test another method. So there are many methods that exist today, and you should know how to choose the right solution. So generally it is overlooked. There is much unawareness about cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is a bit, I should not say boring, it is my field, but it's a slow process. You should be approaching it gradually. So, what are advantages of cybersecurity? Protection against unwanted software, that is harmful software, maintaining privacy and security of data, preserving valuable resources, assets, your credentials, providing. So, cybersecurity is providing new career opportunity. For example, let's take classic example of AI security. That is a new field that is very evolving in nowadays and will be demanding in future, in next 5 to 4 to 5 years. So keeping cyberspace safe and clean. So let's just move to another topic. What is cyber defense? So it is a subsection of cyber security. So it is different from corporate cybersecurity. So what does cyber defense do? So cyber defense is done in order to resist attacks. So there are made systems, there are some practices, for example secure coding practices. So these are the methods that are used in defense in order to resist attacks. Employees of the companies are should be skilled, they are trained in order to be safe online. So it is a mission driven and more government side, is a governmental side, intelligence planning, surveillance. So penetration testing, forensics, these are the branches which use cyber defense. Still they are using cyber defense. So what is next topic we have is what is vulnerability research. Hmm. You are watching my stream while doing assignment, so I should suggest you one thing. You should focus on one. Either you do the assignment or enjoy my stream. I know it's a bit boring, but that is what it is, because it is more very theoretical thing, and this is the basic knowledge everyone should have, uh, irrelevant of the field they are in. Either it can be a either a person who is a web developer or a coder or doing DSA. Everyone should have a basic knowledge of cybersecurity so that they can also implement in their work. So we will be going to white box approach to software. This is vulnerabilities research is something like white box approach to a software testing. So white box approach is a systematic or a step by step approach in order to test a system so that it will not misconfigure. So it focus on how a system fails rather than how a system work. So uh, when we do vulnerability research, our motive is to harm the system, but in a controlled environment. So it can be done by good or bad guys both. It depends on the intention, deriving concepts from known attacks and applying statistical for current system. Periodic operation helps. Okay, so there are periodic testing phases in between development and after development. Before the deployment of any project or any application, there exist many steps of security in between the development phase. So these are periodic operations. Vulnerability research is a periodic operation, so it is help to reduce zero day exploit, as I have discussed. So let's just move to next topic, operating system. It is a very interesting topic, and I think it is a bit practical too. Let's take a quick water break. Then we will be resuming the session. So let's just uh, continue our stream. Let me just check the chats. Okay, the sound was not coming. Okay, so let's just we have missed one topic. I think. Okay, so we have once missed one topic, I guess. Okay, so we yes, we have did not discuss this topic. So these are the certifications that you can consider if you are aiming to become a ethical hacker. So for networking part, you can go for Cisco Certified Network Associate. I have this certification already. You can go for CompTIA Network Plus. It is much cheaper. I think it is around 33,000. So next three certificate we have is Cisco Certified Network Professional. I think if you are ethical hacker, you should not be aiming for it. It is more of a this certificate is more for network engineers. So next we have is AWS Certified Solution Architect. So if you want to achieve any certification in AWS, you should go for cloud certifications. These are best and most demanding in these days. For security, I will suggest all the certificates that are present, except the Certified Information System Security Professional, because if you have a 5-year experience in this ethical hacking field, only then you are qualified to give the exam of this certificate. For now, you can go for Certified Ethical Hacker. I have certificate of certified ethical hacker version 9 and version 11, I guess. Two certificates, both are expired, I guess. I am aiming for OSCP. In between, I guess I will target for CompTIA Security Plus or Pentest Plus. We have another it is an international certificate. I guess I am the all the certificates which I am discussing, these all certificates are internationally valid. So these are provided by international bodies. For example, this certified ethical hacker, it is given by EC Council. These three certificates is given by Cisco, and this CompTIA is also a organization which issue this certificate. GIAC penetration testing or GPEN is also a good certification to go for. So we are what we are achieving, what we are aiming to do is currently we are aiming to do OSCP. We are already CEA certified and CCNA certified. So let's just move to operating system and let me see if the presentation part is complete or not. I think the sound is echoing. I've just let me get it more. I have to raise my voice a little bit, and the system sound should be low. Okay, so I think it will be working fine. Let me just check the PPT if the presentation is complete or not in order to resume this. Okay, evolution, distribution. Okay, let's just quickly see what topics we will be discussing. We will be discussing firstly about Linux, evolution of Linux, history of Linux, distribution of Linux. We will not start from the uh, old history of Unix, how it is, how Linux come, but we will definitely start from Linux itself as it is important for us. So how Linux is used for penetration testing. Next we have is advantages of Linux, different kind of hackers. Okay, so there are six more kind of hackers which have evolved in these recent time. We will be discussing them also. Phases of hacking, then penetration testing, our main work. Okay, phases of penetration testing, difference between cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and we are through. Okay, so I think I have not covered the attacks, cyber attacks part. Okay, we will be discussing them in the next session. Okay, I guess we will be having a session in at night at 9:30 maybe. I will be having be ready with the more topics. I guess I was not ready for the stream, but let's just do the operating system thing, and in the night session we will have uh, I guess stream on cyber attacks, what are different kind of cyber attacks, and we will be continuing with the Linux fundamentals. So let's just move on to operating system, Linux operating system. So all right, let's just move to Linux. So Linux is open source. Open source means it is freely available to everyone. So it is a cross-platform operating system. Okay, so it is available on different kind of platforms. You can download it from anywhere. So how this Linux come? It is derived from Unix OS. So it is Unix was the first basic operating system that was, and it was not open sourced. Later, it is modified by Linus Torvalds, and then how the Linux was born. In starting, it was also not open source. Only the Linux is not. I will not say Linux is operating system. It is a kernel. So there is a difference between kernel and operating system. We will be discussing this later on, but it was not earlier I will not say it is open source earlier, but now it is open source. So it is developed and launched in 1991. So one of it is yes, it is written. It is one of the most widely used kernel till now. If we talk about servers, deployment server, Linux is still and is the most basic operating system that is used, and still it is used. And I guess in future I will it will be used. So it runs on everything. It runs on your smartphone. Android is also, if you don't know, Android is also based on Linux. So let me check if I'm saying right or not. So Android is, I have heard that Android is based on Linux. Android is based on Linux. Yes, Android is based on Linux kernel. I've said it earlier. So smartphones, laptop, for example, this my screen, if it is you see, we minimize it once. So this is okay. Let's just not see this wallpaper, but this is Kali Linux. This is also my operating system is also based on Linux. So it's not Linux to be precise. It is a distribution of Linux. It is Kali Linux. So after Linux, there are different kinds of distribution. We will discuss it in the next slide. So Unix shell based environment. It is a Unix shell based environment, just a kernel. It is just a kernel, not an operating system. So let's just move to evolution of Linux. So Unix project was started at 1969 at Bell Laboratories in C language. So Unix was made in C language. So you know how much C language is important to us. So it is used in large organizations which later developed their own dialects of Unix. For example, Minix, that is now Mac OS, I guess, and MS-DOS, which is now Windows. So Unix was distributed within the various organizations, and they are They are developed in recent they are developed gradually in the years, and they have completely changed. Now we have three majorly operated system, that is Mac, Windows and Linux. Different kind of different distributions of Linux. So next we will be moving. It wasn't, I have told you earlier, it wasn't an open source, it is collaborated, so failed to gain popularity. So in 1991, Torvalds thought to write his own Unix. He has taken the help from the old Unix, he has written its own Unix and make it freely available. That is why it is open source now. From 1992, Linux is under GNU GPL license and not available for commercial use, but programmers have modified and released many flavors of Linux over the years. One of the flavor you are seeing is Kali Linux. So these are the distribution of different kind of distribution. Can say Ubuntu. So I think I've said a wrong thing, that Kali Linux is based on that Linux. It is first from Linux Debian came, Debian, then from Debian Kali Linux came. So Kali Linux is based on Debian. So there is another operating system, that is Ubuntu. It is also Debian based. It uses GNOME desktop environment. Most well-known Linux distribution, I guess, in most of the education institution, Ubuntu is installed, and it's stable LTS release every 2 years. Okay, so it has a security release every stable security release every 2 years. So Linux Mint, it is an Irish distribution based on Ubuntu. It is based on Ubuntu, so it is highly stable, full multimedia compatibility. For example, if you want to see videos MP4, MP3, you will be you want to use a basic computer, so it is highly stable for that. So what is Debian? So it is based for many other distribution. Example, on Debian Ubuntu is based, Kali Linux is based, MX Linux is based. The operating system which we are using is Kali Linux. OpenSUSE it is a beautiful desktop experience. It is a, I think, a 3D kind of environment. It is a KDE environment. And next we have CentOS. It is completely shell based. So what is a shell based operating system? This is a shell based. Everything is operated from this. There is no graphical interface at all. You cannot directly go click on that application and open. You have just need to write like this. Like we write Brave browser, when we hit enter and the Brave is opened. It is accessed like this. CentOS is just a small piece of example. So it is a package development and server testing, robust. So Fedora is, I guess, advanced version. So continuation of an older distribution. So there exists a Red Hat Linux after fewer updates and advancement made in this Red Hat Linux. Fedora made. So advanced and enterprise users. Enterprise means it is paid and used in workstations. So how Linux will be used for by us for penetration testing? So firstly, we should know what different kind of Linux are being used today. So firstly, the most basic and used everywhere, in even in the government sector, Kali Linux. Kali Linux. So it is developed by Offensive Security as the redive. Okay, so there exists an operating system known as Backtrack. So there was a rewrite of this operating system by Offensive Security, and they developed this Kali Linux. So they have Kali Linux have 500 plus pre-installed pen testing tools and applications. So you can access from here. So you can see for reconnaissance, we have web scanning, FUFF, GoBuster, Meltego, and Map. For resource development, we have MSF, Venom. For initial access, we have Metasploit. For execution part, I think we have execution. Okay, for Metasploit framework is used in both initial access, execution, privilege escalation. For defense evasion, we have Mac Changer, MSF Venom. For credential access, we have different kind of word list. Hashcat, we use John the Ripper, if you know. For Wi-Fi, we have AirCrackNG, Cowpatty. For password proof polling and word list, we have word list, different kind of word list. For password cracking, we have Hashcat and John, as we have discussed earlier. For discovery part, for network discovery, we have TCP dump and map. So you should not be no tensed about this. We will discuss each and every tool throughout the streams, not now but gradually. uh, you can see there are three tools: net discover and map tcp dump. For command and control, we have metasploit is used much widely. So for exfiltration, we have netcat. For impact, we have mdk3. For services, another tool, we have Kali tweaks, root terminal, and other reporting tools. So this is what Kali Linux look like. I have so next one is Parrot Security is also a Debian based operating system. It's developed by Frozen Box team. So it is cloud friendly, lightweight for operating system, highly customizable. Okay, so it is highly customizable. We can customize it 3D in 3D way. It has a strong community support. Kali Linux has, I think, it has also strong community support. But Parrot security is used, and it's very much in very much famous nowadays. So but Kali Linux is most widely used, and we still are stick to this Kali. So next one we have on the next one we have is advantage of Linux. So before using Linux, you should know why you are using this. It is open source. It is freely available. Anyone can download. It is highly secured, more than Windows, more than Mac. It is secured from more than both the operating system. It has a legacy support. You will get 24/7 support. You can write them mail if you have any kind of error in your operating system. It is portable, flexible. That is why it is still used in different kind of IoT devices such as CCTV. If you see the LCD panel of your fridge or refrigerators and air conditioners, Linux kernel is existing behind them. So it has different kind of software updates every time when you want to update a software. I should show you how to. So sudo will give it a super user command apt, and we will do update. We will tell the system that you should update yourself. It is asking for password. We shall provide the password, and let's just. Okay, so it is updating. We have update. I think I have not updated the system, so let's just letting it update. So that is how you can, not like Windows, you will go into the settings app and then Windows update, and that uh, very annoying screen of Windows update. You can just simply do like this in Linux and just reboot the system, and you can easily do the thing. So I guess I have seen that camera is a bit lagging. I have just see that. So our stream is around 1 hour 34 minutes. No problem. We will be continuing. So let's just move to different kind of hackers once again. But this six different kind of hackers are now exist. These are famous nowadays. So they have script kiddies, and this is the most uh, immature kind of hackers. They are just kids. They just know the commands, and they just go in the terminal, blah blah blah, execute, and done. They like hackers. Let me just show you one command. Let's just I think my system will not lag. So there is a command like Hollywood. I think it is not installed in your system, but you can install. But if you click on it, and you see, you will feel like hacker, but it's not something like that. It's all messed up terminals and just random gigs all around. So it's this script kiddie. I am writing this command and showing to someone that I am a hacker. I am a script kiddie. I assume myself a script kiddie, but I am not. Jokes apart. And then we have green hat hackers. They are curious script kiddies who do this stuff, but they are curious. They want to learn. They're enclosed in hacking communities. They join hacking communities. For example, they have Defronics. We have different kind of communities exist on Reddit and GitHub, and also that I am forgetting one name, Discord. Okay, how I can forget the Discord. We have many communities on Discord. So they listen and learn with undivided attention. So we have blue hat hackers, no wise hacker with vengeful agenda, no desire for learning, just hack for revenge. So let's just take example. If you are going through a breakup and you want to exploit your girlfriend's mobile phone, so what do, you go on YouTube. You ask the YouTube. And also nowadays people are asking chat gpt that how I can hack my girlfriend's account. And that is a bit funny thing that people are still believing that they can hack Instagram. So I guess now we are doing good jokes and people just left. There's no one in the stream. No problem. I should have used this random gigs and jokes before. So let's just move. So we have red hat hackers. They are similar to white hats, halting the acts of black hat hackers, just more ruthless towards them. Okay, so they are ruthless towards the system. They would just want to exploit and prove their wins. So we have hacktivists. They are government hackers. They are hack government. They are not. They are not government hackers. They hack government or large organizations to make them down. So they are online version of activists. So activists are the hackers of that hackers are matlab that are hired by organization in order to defame another organization, so to raise voice for political. Okay, so what they do, they hack the government, they blackmail them, so they just want to prove themselves and just raise voice for political or social cause. So for example, there is a social cause and government is not paying much attention to it, so they just hack government websites and they just do dos attack on government websites, and boom, all websites are down. So I guess I think the sound is lagging, I guess. I think I should switch off my camera because it is much lagging. Okay, so we are reached to the end of the stream, and just okay, we are left with some crucial topics. So let's just move to phases of hacking. So footprinting. First one is footprinting. What is footprinting? So gaining as much as information about the target. So if we want to target someone, firstly we should know about the target. Who is he? How is doing? What he does? And where is he? And where do he live? If we want to gain the access of system, so in footprinting we gain the loopholes in the system, we gain the IP address and all. Then we do scanning, identify. Okay, so this the process of identifying the loopholes and vulnerability in the information gathered, that comes under scanning. So all the information that is gathered by us, we run a scan on them and identify the loopholes and vulnerabilities. And somehow if we get a vulnerability, I have told you earlier that there is no difference between the work of a bad hacker and a good hacker. We both do similar thing, but we have different intentions. They have an intention to harm the system, but we have an intention to prevent bad hackers from exploiting the same vulnerability. So when we identify one vulnerability, we gain access. So exploiting the vulnerability with tools and techniques such as, we will discuss this later. We will discuss this tools thing later. You will get confused if you pay attention to this. So after that gaining the access, you should know how to maintain that access. So creating and deploying a backdoors so that you can you can log out of the system and log in again. So you should create a backdoor. So how does a backdoor look? You can say that if you once breach the system and you are in the system, but you want that you will exploit it later on after 1 month, 2 months, so you left a backdoor there so that you can enter directly without doing all the steps and running scans. So you just skip these 3 steps and directly gain the access. So after doing all things, so when there is a criminal activity, what if we so if we talk about hacking, when either a good or bad, we should have a criminal mindset, how to exploit a system, how to make harm. So let's take an example of criminal. When he she commits a crime, what he do, he hides the traces that he has committed. He destroy the information, all the information about himself. So that is what we are doing, we will clearing the logs. So if we are doing hacking, we should also have a criminal mindset, so for that we can clear the logs, remove the traces and records. So there should be no records, no track records on the system that We should not left any kind of traces and record to avoid being caught. So we should not get caught. Okay, so let's just move to, so this will be similar, I guess. Penetration testing. So what is the purpose of penetration testing? It is a simulated attacks to find and prove real security weakness before adversaries do. Adversaries are black hat hackers. So what we do, as a white hat hacker or as an ethical hacker, we just do perform our simulated attacks and find the weakness and give the deployment team to patch them before the black hat hackers do malicious activity. So authorization, we should perform all the things, all the attacks in a authorized way. We should have permission. Okay, so next, penetration testing, we have phases. First we do reconnaissance, then discovery, exploitation. We will discuss this in the next slide. I guess we have, yes, we have. So, what are outcomes of penetration testing? Evidence backfinding, evidence backed findings showing how an attacker could gain. So, we will create a demo or pseudo attack so that we will record our each and every step, that how we have performed the attack. We will submit that report to the organization so that they will secure their system at each and every step I have exploited. So what is the value of penetration testing? So what is the value that we are providing? So prioritize fixes. So if I have reported one any kind of vulnerability, so there exists a deployment team that provide the fixes. So this can reduce the risk of future cyber attacks, and overall it improves the defenses through practical and tested proofs. So what are the phases of penetration testing? So first is pre-engagement. Meet the client. We should let's take a scenario. I am the penetration tester. So what I do, I will meet the client to confirm the scope, goals, rules of engagement, and legal authorization. I will sign a paper that if I somehow breach your system and I have by mistake done any misconfiguration, so it should not be on me. It should not be me. Okay, so so that the blame should not come on me. It should be all in the hands of the company how they deal with it. So next one we have after the seeking the permission and all the legal works. So if I talk about penetration testing, it is a very you know difficult job to do because it has legal matters. When I have seen such classic examples where ethical hackers are hired, but they somehow by mistake misconfigured the system, and then they are the only responsible being for that. Company give all the blame on them. They sue him in the court. So we as ethical hackers or penetration testing testers, we should know our laws. We should know what are all the legal matters that that can cause harm to us, or you can be in jail sometime also. If you are a good hacker, you can also be in jail if you don't know about your legal authorizations. So next one we have is planning and reconnaissance. So create a test plan. We will firstly we have access to all the system. We will create a test plan and gathered permitted public can scan based intelligence. Okay, so we have OSINT, that is open source intelligence. We will do OSINT, that is the information that is openly available to everyone. We will go through it, study that. Then we will do threat modeling and vulnerability identification. So we will map each and every risk, rank the severity of that vulnerability and business impact. So we will simply, when we done with the testing, we will be ranking the vulnerabilities that we get, which weakness of the system can be more severe, and which vulnerability can make heavy impact on the business. So next phase we have is exploitation. Safely attempt and controlled exploits or POCs to validate real impact. Okay, so we have when we perform penetration testing, we are in secured environment, we are in safe environment, so we do everything in controlled way. So we have controlled exploits, and our attack is controlled, so that if somehow the attack got misconfigured, we can control it. After the exploitation, there is a post exploitation. So assesses the value of compromised assets and possible lateral or further attack pathways. So after exploiting the system, we will be moving forward, and we will be assess the value of the compromised asset. For example, if I have hacked the system, if I have hacked a system and I have, the credential of employee, and I have their no salary account, so how much asset can I get from this? So I will calculate that compromised asset and possible lateral or further attacks, how a bad hacker can plan that. So in advance I will plan it already and mention it in report that if this vulnerability will be, you know exploited, more vulnerabilities are open in the system and these can be exploited too. So after all this, we have reporting phase where we document, and I will tell you in advance that reporting is the most boring thing. You have to, in each and every step, you have to document everything with evidence, with impact statements and prioritize remediation steps. So after this reporting, you itself, you have to, retest it, and you have to provide the resolution for it. You have to provide the fixes, that how can this be fixed, and retest the affected areas. After, when you complete with the testing thing, the develop the this project will be hand over to the development. They made all the security patches, then you again retest the system and find more vulnerabilities. Okay, so let's just see the chat if there is anyone still there. Okay, nice. So next, let's move to phases of penetration testing. Pre-engagement, meet the client. Okay, so we have done this. Okay, so now we will be discussing the major. Let's see the duration of the stream. It's around 2 hours. Okay, no problem. So next we have is the main difference between cybersecurity ethical hacking, and you will be shocked to know that these two things are different. Some people are still considering cybersecurity and ethical hacking as same, but cybersecurity is whole branch and ethical hacking is a part of it. So what's the basic definition? Cybersecurity is the overall practice of protecting the system and networks and data from cyber threats. But ethical hacking, when you talk about ethical hacking, it is more focused on testing and identifying vulnerabilities through authorized simulated attacks. So cybersecurity is much of blue teaming and protection, and ethical hacking is much red teaming and exploiting. So what is the goal of cybersecurity? So to defend and prevent attacks, and if we talk about ethical hacking, to find exploit vulnerabilities ethically before malicious hackers do. So how the approach to security? So there are defensive and preventive ways. So first we will be discussing about firewalls, monitoring, patching, securing. So patching is done after, all the steps performed in penetration testing. You got to know about some kind of vulnerability, so you need to fix that. The process of fixing a vulnerability is known as patching. And in defense, you need to secure the systems. Ethical hacking is, as already discussed, it's offensive, investigative, so it kind of detective work. So what is the scope of cybersecurity? So it is broad, includes policy making, risk management, security tools. So cybersecurity can be used in each and every step of, development phase. Cybersecurity professionals are, called before planning or, making of any kind of application. Though, so uh, they make a plan, they make a secure plan, they talk to the employees of the deployment team that how they can do secure coding in order to prevent some kind of cyber attack before the testing phase. So cyber security is involved in each and every step of the development, deployment, and also in the running phase. So tools used in cyber security, firewalls, okay, antivirus, sim is, we will discuss it later. So IDS and IPS is intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system, encryption tools, and in ethical hacking we have Metasploit and Map, Bubsuit, Wireshark, Linux, and Netcat, and there are more tool, Meltego, many tools, around 500 tools. So we will be, I think, go one and one, targeting one tool, and we will be learning how to use them. So what are the professionals involved in cybersecurity? Cybersecurity analysts, those who, analyze before the development or deployment of any kind of project. So there are security engineers, there are SOC team analysts. SOC team analysts are security operation center that, do the monitoring thing throughout the development of a project. So we have CISO, Chief Investigative Security Officer. In ethical hacking, we have ethical hackers, penetration testers, red team specialist, exploit developer, and vulnerability assessment. And we have new branch, for example, VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. So what are the outcomes of cybersecurity? It strengthened the defense system and reduced the attack surface. So it is a detailed one. In ethical hacking, the outcome is we have detailed vulnerability report and recommendation for fixes. So that makes the, I think, the end of the stream. And let's these are the resources which you can use during this journey. We have OWASP 10. These is, let's just let I just show you what is OWASP 10. OWASP top 10. So this is the official website of OWASP 10, and we have in 2021. So let's just discuss what is OWASP 10. So OWASP 10 is a standard awareness document for developers and web application security. It represents on broader consonants and about most critical security risks. So these are all security risks. For example, brokers access control, cryptographic failures, injection, insecure design. So basically what this organization do, they rank these kind of attacks, or risk, security risk, year by year. So in recent, I guess it's of 2021. So as of 2021, the most you know security risk was broken access control. And we will be discussing each and everything in separate stream, I guess. This should be earlier, before you should have a basic knowledge and fundamentals of cyber attacks before jumping into our top 10. You can use GitHub for reading the scripts of exploits and different kind of tools. You can join bug bounty programs. You can read hacking forums. For example, you can read news channels related to hacking. You can use Overflow. If you have any question, you should have soft skills. Soft skills are communication skills. For example, we have discussed in penetration testing, the first step is to deal with client. So you should have a good communication skill in order to deal with client. In order to, you should have a good listening skills, because he's the one, the client is only the client is the one who will be telling you how you should approach the system and what you should exactly do. So, and last is practice, practice, practice. You should be practicing more and more, and I will be there throughout this journey of ethical hacking and penetration testing. So let's just end the stream, and I think we will be having yes, we will be having a stream at night related to Linux fundamentals. So those who get bored in this session, but I should say this session is much important for gaining a basic knowledge in cybersecurity. As I in previous streams, I was getting feedback that I should start from the beginning. So I already know that when I was learning this, this was kind boring, but this is important for you to continue. So for the interesting part of the stream, we will be having a stream at night, I guess, then in which we will be directly jumping to the Kali Linux and uh, you know Linux fundamental commands. So I think I will in community post I will be do one thing. I will attach one video of any creator on YouTube that is openly available, and I will attach a video of how to download. You can download this Linux, or any you can download Kali Linux. So let's just end the stream. Before coming to the next stream, you should have uh, Linux installed, or I do one thing. If I have any kind of website that on which you can practice Linux command, I will be providing that soon. And also I will be providing a book which I will be using in the stream in order to study Linux fundamentals. So let's just end the stream. If you have any question, you can ask. Let's see how much people. I guess 4 people are still watching. We have 8 likes. And please Do the honors of subscribing to my stream, subscribing to my channel. You will get ample of knowledge in cybersecurity and thing from this. So I guess there's no chat. And sorry for the webcam. Let me just see if it is working or not. Uh, Let me just see once again if it is restart. And I guess